Well, I started in the mines 2 months before I was 16 years old at lowboy shaft mines, loading coal, and it's big slate, big rock, and no air, and you had to push the cars, sit down and kick them in, kick them out. And my back had hurt me so bad till I hunted for a high place. And this load coal was only 40 inches. And I worked there till I was 21 years old with my daddy. And then I left and went to Black Mountain and went to work for myself.
I remember the ways in the bygone days when we all was in our prime, when we and John L. gave the old man hell down in the Blue Diamond mines, when the whistle blowed and the rooster crowed 2 hours before daylight, when a man done his best and he earned his good rest and $17 at night. In the mines, in the mines, in the Blue Diamond mines, I worked my life away. In the mines, in the mines, in the Blue Diamond mines, oh, fall on your knees and pray.
In Harlan County, at Clover Splint Coal Company, we was working there, and Franklin D. Roosevelt gave us the right to elect a deputy to watch the ballot box and see if the gun thugs didn't arrest the men and take the money at the paydays at the office and turn in fines, them in the square, and take men's money over getting drunk. They'd watch them, and they had an election. And when they had this election, the gun thugs got in front of the man at the hauling the ballot boxes from Clover Splint. And at Kits, they stopped and come back around and told these men, said, you all are following us. And they said, no, we're following the ballot box. We got a right to. And this one deputized 2 men to go with him. Hamshell and Lawrence Wynn and Odell Sizemore was in it. And so he come around and he told him to quit following us. And so he hit him over the head with a pistol. And when he did, Willie Wynn killed him. And the other 2, the boss and the gun thug, come up on the other side and killed the other 2 men. And him a boss of the night, working right with a bunch of men. That's the way they treated men back in them days. You done as they wanted you to. The Union has made it decent and like a man to work. He's got laws to go by, and the Union upholds him and gives him a right for high wages. And then a company can't treat you wrong because your case can be took up, and you're treated more like white people this day and time, American people. That you ain't treated like slaves and dogs like you used to. That's the way you was treated before the Union was got in. You was treated just like stock or something other. They thought more of a bank mule. In the old days, they used bank mules to pull the coal with. And if a mule got killed, they say, gee, we have to buy another mule. And if a man got killed, he said, we can hire another man. So they didn't care as much for a man as they did a mule. That's the way the coal companies used to treat you.
Well, you old black gold, you've gotten my lungs, and your dust has darkened my soul. And now I am old, you're turning your back. Where else can a poor miner go? Well, it's Algoma block, and it's big leather wood, and now it's Blue Diamond too. The pits they are closing, get another job. What else can a poor miner do? In in the mines, in the mines, in the blue diamond mines. I've worked my life.
Well, a mines is like you take in a mountain and cut so many holes all the way through, and mine straight, and it's in is moored a hole in the ground. It's if a mine's kept clean and lights up and everything, it don't look, it ain't scary like or anything like that after you get used to it. But it is when you first go into mines. A mines look scary to you. But after you get used to it, well, you don't pay it no more attention than you would going in a house. I think mine machinery is something that's looks different to what the mines did when you had track, cars, and motors in, and you loaded with shovels back then instead of machinery, because you got nowhere solid in the mines now with the machinery running, and back then you didn't hear nothing, knowing just the ring of a man's shovel or an old track motor running. Or somebody driving an old mule. You take, that's a lot of difference in mining this day with machinery than it was mining with manpower and mule power. Blue Diamond Coal Company at Blair Fork Coal Company, they had mines there. They set no timbers. They drove the mines wide. They didn't rock dust. They didn't keep the mines in no position period towards safety until the day before the mine inspector would call, and then when the mine inspector would call, they'd work all night and then all day and get part of the shape, and sometimes they wouldn't get it in shape, and then mark it up and go on. And at all times notify the mine inspectors that always call the coal companies, all of them that I've been around up till lately. And where I think that the mine inspector wasn't too much benefit, because they'd call the company and they'd shut them down, and the coal companies would go in there and fix the place up, and then quick as the mine inspector left, well, the mines went right back down just like it was. Well, the coal companies this day and time with machinery, used to, you got 85 to 90% of your coal. And now, this day and time, they average around 60 or 65%. Blue Diamond, I doubt, got 60 because they just cut it up, pitched the weight in on it, and got it to they couldn't get it, and nobody else can get it because they lasted all they could get that one day. They didn't study about the next day or the next generation. That coal was all wrapped up and cut up and destroyed. And I think that's the way a lot of the mineral rights of our country is being destroyed. Well, I think miners is as good a people as it is all over the United States, and they've put out as many men to fight and got as much knowledge as anyone else has. They just had a bad breaks, and they never was allowed to do what they could do. They didn't have very much education because there's large families, most all families, and they didn't get to go to school, get very much education. So they had to go to work by the time they was grown, and before they was grown. Well, a lot of people, the reason they like mining, they've the South has had no work amount to anything. And if you get started at something when you're young and work it all your life, why, that's the kind of work you like. And that's the reason a lot of people likes mining, because they never made a living at anything else. And so if you never made a living at anything else, why, that's all you know, and the reason you like it. And if the mines is fixed up right and kept right, it ain't too much dangerous in the mines. It's neglect is what makes the mines dangerous. And if I had my life to live over, I'd as soon work in the mines now than as anything else.